So I definitely proved my lack of stupidity knows no bounds because I think I said it was Wednesday that the Hall of Fame game was going to be the 8th. It was actually last night. So yeah, I kind of stayed up watching it. I'm tired now. So yeah, all I can say is football is back. Yes, football is back. I'm so happy it is back. I cannot wait to start doing more stuff. Actually, hold on a second. You know what? Before I get to anything, first and foremost, good morning and happy Friday, everybody. It is Friday. The weekend is literally on the horizon. That is awesome. Cannot wait to, enjoy it. But, we have to get through. Oh, actually, depending on what, depending on when, you get off work, I guess technically your weekend would start then. Unless, actually, if you are having a good day, it feels like you're not really working at all. So that's one thing you can do. So yeah, I completely had no idea when the Hall of Fame game is. In my defense, I really hadn't seen much advertising for it. So yeah, it's good. I told you I was tired. I kind of had no idea when it was gonna be or whatever. Let's see. Foremost, it was great seeing Matt Ryan play, and I got to see Flacco and Drew Lock for the Broncos. That was pretty sweet. Actually, come to think, I think YouTube may actually have a every pass that Drew Lock threw. See, that's another thing I love about football season. YouTube is gonna have a plethora of videos in which every pass this guy threw, or every yard that this particular running back ran in this particular game, all that stuff. We're gonna see a lot of highlights. You're gonna see probably some lowlights, but that happens during every football game. It was great seeing some of the Hall of Famers, because that I actually am getting older. When I was younger, I was watching these players play, and now they're in the Hall of Fame, like Ed Reed, Tony Gonzalez, Ty Law. That's awesome. And now that we are on the subject of Hall of Famers, I have to talk about John Elway, because they showed him on screen a lot. He went from being QB to the Denver Broncos to now being the GM of the Denver Broncos. So it's pretty safe to say he loves this organization. He loves that organization. That organization's practically family to him. And it should be. He did win them 2 Super Bowls, which that was a journey in of itself. Before they upset Green Bay in that Super Bowl, which still traumatizes me. Actually, before I talk about that, I probably have told the story before, but when I was younger, my favorite color was green. So when I found out there was a team called the Green Bay Packers, I'm like, yes, please, I'll root for them. And they had just won that Super Bowl over the Patriots. It was Brett Favre's only Super Bowl win. And so the Packers make it to the Super Bowl next year, and they lose to the Broncos. Not fun for an impressionable kid like me at the time. It's even worse when you start to consider the fact when I said, way to go, Denver, bet you can't do it again. And they won the next year too. So, yeah, I probably had that coming. But, I'm over it. Excuse me. But, again, John Elway, winning those 2 Super Bowls, really does mean a lot to the city of Denver, because before that happened, John Elway was actually a rather, decorated football player in his own right. I mean, he had been in the league around 7 years. He had won the league MVP title, and he had been to 3 Super Bowls. In fact, 2 of those Super Bowls were back-to-back wins over the, getting two of those Super Bowls were back-to-back AFC Championship wins over the Browns. And when the Broncos went to 2 of those Super Bowls, actually all 3 of those Super Bowls, but when they got to the Super Bowl, they got the roof blown off them. They lost pretty bad games. And one of them, I do believe, was to my Cowboys. I think. I know the Broncos lost to the Cowboys in one Super Bowl. It's hard to keep track of a lot of this stuff. It's just, there's been 53 Super Bowls, ladies and gentlemen. It's hard to remember who played in, well, it's not necessarily hard, but it is a lot of information to retain if you're actually seeking out to, remember it all. So, yeah, it was great watching football again. I'm so glad it's back, and man, I cannot stop yawning. Okay, I'm gonna try looking up something. Hold on. Oh, there was just, I thought there'd be like more games like tomorrow and today and tomorrow, but that's not remotely the case. Oh well. I thought, maybe that's why I thought that, the preseason game started next week, because I didn't think the Hall of Fame game was, tonight. I thought that game would just simply be, games as well. Man. I mean, yeah, I went to bed later, but as soon as I, crashed my head on the pillow, I was out like a light. What happened? I actually slept really well, too. That's the problem. So, I mean, I have to wait just a little less than a week before I can start making NFL picks. But hopefully it'll fly by like that. It's going to be awesome. Let's see. Well, since I'm done talking about that, but we talk about other important things like hot ones. Okay, don't ever try and fight Idris Elba. Do not, because y'all gonna lose. Okay, that's what's gonna happen. But one thing I really do like about hot ones is it really just provided a medium for you to learn more about the person being interviewed. Again, the other day I mentioned that, actually I think it might have been like Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever I talked about Idris Elba being on Hot Ones, I mentioned that the only role I knew him in was Zootopia. But, he's been in stuff like, The Wire, he's been in all sorts of, other great movies. It's, can't wait to, see what else he does. There actually was a rumor going on that, if James Bond was ever going to have his race be changed, he was going to be played by Idris Elba, which I'd be okay with. But the thing of it is, no matter, what person is in the role, be whether the skin color and all that other stuff, the problem with that is, one of the things that made James Bond relatively, special is, in the context of the James Bond universe, let's say, James Bond really does come across as, unassuming. I mean, yeah, he comes across as calm. Yeah, he comes across as suave. And when we, the audience, are watching him, we're going to be thinking, okay, this guy is the hero. He's going to get the job done. It's going to be awesome. You know, it's James Bond. I mean, pretty much there's never been a bad actor who's ever portrayed James Bond. I do not think so. You know, to this day, yes, as a movie goer, of course I can name all the James Bond actors. Sean Connery, George Lazenby, Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan, Roger Moore, and now Daniel Craig. So, 6. Yep, 6. So, yeah, actually, there was supposed to be a James Bond movie coming out in 2019, later in 2019, but I really don't know if it's going to happen at all. Oh well. I mean, it was going to start with Daniel Craig, so I don't think Daniel Craig is quite ready to give up the role. Although, if the role was ever changed, and it did go to an actor of a different race, you know, I'm not really going to be upset by that. Although, you still have to follow the main criteria of, you know, they actually have to fit the role brilliantly. And while Idris Elba is fantastic, and while I have no doubt that under different circumstances he'd be in a fantastic, you know, protagonist in a spy movie, being James Bond would be a bit of a stress. Because again, James Bond is like unassuming. You know, he's not the biggest guy in the room. He's not like the most muscular guy in the room. He's not like, again, unassuming. And Idris Elba is awesome, but, you know, he is kind of a big muscular guy, kind of tall, all that stuff. So, could it work? Yes, but but it would be a lot of effort and trouble to make sure it's absolutely perfect. Sorry for the noise back there, that's my laundry getting washed. So, yeah, it was great watching him at Hot Ones. You know, he claimed he was the hottest hot one, and I dare say he's definitely lived up to that particular title, which is, you know, awesome. Yeah, I mean, there was a new chapter of One Piece that came out, but again, there's not really... Here's the thing. This chapter had a boatload of things to talk about. The problem is, I don't want to give away any spoilers. Especially since now we are in the Wano arc, and in the anime, which, you know, I am going to be watching and doing live reactions, as you guys have seen. Again, I haven't been doing that recently because there was another episode of the Wano arc that was released, but for the promotion of the One Piece movie Stampede, they're making like 2, you know, non-canon filler episodes, so I'm not going to waste my time with that. But I'll definitely get to watching the last episode of Wano that was made a couple weeks ago. And then starting this upcoming weekend, not this weekend, but the next weekend after, then we should go back to the Wano arc. So, look forward to that. But, yeah, in terms of what I read this week, okay, it blew me away. Holy cow. You would think that things are going from bad to worse, and they don't just go from bad to worse, they go from worse to cataclysmically weather-altering, crazy, over-the-top, like the song of the One Piece opening, craziness that just, don't worry, I'll be putting a link in the description. You will know exactly what I see. Although, the one thing they may have had a missed opportunity on is there was one panel that really should have been emphasized as like the big sort of eye-catching thing to see. And it's eye-catching, but they could have made the actual panel that's in bigger. That's just my opinion of that. I'm sure Oda had a reason for everything that he did. Just like I had a reason to make a video every day, and that's to entertain every one of you. Like, favorite, share, that subscribe button, turn on the notifications, follow me on the social media platforms. I am humbled that I made this video for all of you guys to watch and enjoy today. I'm hopefully you all have a wonderful, wonderful Friday. And remember, if you guys don't want to talk, I'm always going to be here to lend an ear. And I'll always have your back. Take care and make good choices.